Joining us on the line now is Lanny Davis, former Clinton White House counsel and author of Crisis Tales. Good morning to you, Lanny. How are you?
Good morning. I just was saying to your producer that I'm not as good as Seth Davis, but I'll try.
All right. All right, listen, I want to talk to you about Hillary. Because, look, the other day we had Tucker Carlson on, and Tucker Carlson put words to sort of a suspicion, a sneaking suspicion that I have that Hillary might not really run for the office of the presidency. Let me just point to four things. Number one, she's about to be a grandma. She has talked about how she would like to have grandchildren and spend time with them. Number two, I think there may be some lingering questions about whether or not she's up to the task from a health standpoint. Number three, there are becoming an increasing number of questions about her record as Secretary of State, specifically about Benghazi, a report out there. But even her own State Department spokesman over there couldn't really find words to express her accomplishments as Secretary of State. And finally, there is this. Bill Shatner, Captain Kirk, is on board with Hillary, which I'm not sure is a good thing. Listen to this.
I think Mrs. Clinton would be the one to bring us together in some way.
So there you go. She has the endorsement of Captain Kirk. So really, honestly, what's your sense of it? Because we turn to you for an assessment of all things Hillary.
Well, first of all, the honest answer is I do not know. I'm a friend of Hillary Clinton since her name was Rodham, which is more than a half-century ago, dating myself in law school. And she's one of the best friends I've ever had. Any one of her friends would say that. And I don't know. So I don't think her husband knows. I think her husband would love her to run because she's the most qualified person in our judgment. But I don't really think...
But when you hear Democrats talk, they say, fait accompli, she's the nominee.
Well, it's not because I know that the vicissitudes of life, so let's just honestly say we don't know, but it's, to me, likely because she's the most qualified candidate we have. We usually end up nominating the most qualified candidate or the best candidate. And one of
but
those
you honestly don't know whether she has the fire in her belly.
I honestly don't know. But I think she will because she's the best candidate. And the Democratic Party will pressure her greatly to run because she is our best candidate, but I don't know. So let's deal with each, if we have the time, real quick, each one of your concerns, which are you're not the only one to express those concerns, which, as usual, you speak extremely well and you're totally wrong. So let's deal with the most important thing that you said, which is the lack of accomplishments, which is the Republicans' repeated talking points over and over again. And it's just flat out wrong unless you define accomplishments as everything I'm about to say. You'll say, well, that's not an accomplishment. So let me give you four, and you tell me what your definition of the word accomplishment is.
Okay.
The Iran sanctions regime, which everyone, Republican and Democratic, in Congress as well as the White House, believes were very effective in bringing extreme hardship, extreme is the word used, to the Iranian economy. Mm-hmm. She was the chief person to implement Iran sanctions. That's an accomplishment. Secondly, she is the person that negotiated the reduction in arms with Russia and plowed her way through a pretty rocky relationship with Putin. She called Putin.
Wow, you're going to call that? You're going to call that an accomplishment?
And she negotiated the START treaty reduction. That's an accomplishment.
I don't think there are a lot of people who disagree with that.
Third.
All right, take the
throughout
third.
The world, the standing of the United States in 2009 in every country was down significantly and negative in most countries. When she left after visiting 112 countries, goodwill around the world towards the United States had substantially increased. That's a major accomplishment because that's the mission of a Secretary of State.
Okay, Lanny. I listen. We'll let this. We need to. Let me circle back to the Iranian sanctions real fast. I don't want to run out of time because I have another question. But 2 months ago, Hillary Clinton asked a bipartisan group of Democrats and Republicans in the Senate to not impose additional sanctions on Iran. So while these talks, yes, but while these talks are moving forward to allowing Iran to get a nuclear weapon,
the reason that they're at the table is because of those sanctions. Excuse me for interrupting, but she only said temporarily. temporarily, and most people in Congress went along.
All right. Yeah. Well, most people went along because Harry Reid was obeying what Hillary said. Let me ask you something. I know that you're a big proponent of same-sex marriage. Hillary Clinton is a big proponent of same-sex marriage. It might be an issue coming up in the future. I want to point something out to you. The New York Post has a story about a married lesbian throuple. A throuple, that would be 3 lesbians who got married in the state of Massachusetts. Now, the state of Massachusetts doesn't allow 3 lesbians to get married. Is the state of Massachusetts on the wrong side of history here, and why?
Talk about, I have to change my mindset here. First of all, on same-sex marriage, a remarkable thing has happened in the Republican Party. Most polls show a majority of Republicans.
I know, Lanny, I'm asking you specifically about
do
this.
We accept a 3...
What's the argument against 3
marriage?
lesbians getting married?
Can I say that it's early in the morning? My wife may not be listening, but if there's a woman who'd like to move in here to have a, I don't know. I shouldn't even say that. I hope my wife.
No, I think you should. We're letting you go. Please.
I think libertarians.
Please, Lanny, go ahead and finish that thought.
Rand Paul would say, is live and let live, and we probably should allow people to have their own lifestyle. I can't get my mind around the word marriage and having 3 people married, but if we move the way we did, I have no objection to that whatsoever. Love is the most important thing.
So when people
love each other, then that's good enough.
So when people like Rick Santorum would bring things up like this, or bring up Mormons and bigamy, he was called homophobic. He was destroyed because he said, "Oh, how dare you compare the love of 2 men or 2 women who want to get married? How dare you compare it to something like 3 people or 4 people getting married?" But you just did that, so you're okay with it.
So I'm personally okay with it, but I'm okay with Rick Santorum saying he's not okay with same-sex marriage. I hate when Democrats and the left side of my party label them because they disagree. And I respect Rick Santorum. His belief on same-sex marriage and opposed to it is a religious and faith-based belief, and I hate when Democrats label people. I respect Rick Santorum.
All right, Lanny, on the side of bigamy. Thank you, Lanny Davis. Good to have you.
Wow, I think we made news there.
And in fact, he's
Can someone get me a marriage counselor?
If I remember right, he actually invited someone into his home.
Wow, that's progressive.
You know what? 888-630-9625. If you would like to join Lanny and his wife in their marriage, please. We're taking calls and applications now.
Right. We'll forward anybody we get to you, Lanny.
Next week, I'm going to have my son call in again.
Like there's going to be a next week. Good luck, Lanny.
You may not survive the day, my friend.